Hey guys, what's up? It's McCray Montgomery, and I have another tutorial for you guys today. This one is about motion tracking, and I have a business making sports highlight videos for athletes in my area, and motion tracking is a really big part of each video. So I'm just going to make a quick tutorial for you guys, show you how it's done, some tips and tricks, and some techniques I like to use. And this is what we're going to be making, just this nice spotlight that follows him. And so let's go ahead and get on into it. What we're going to do is you're going to find out where your clip starts. Let's just scroll through here real fast. Right there. And then you're going to hit Control-Alt-Shift-Y, or you can go up here to Layer, New, Null Object. And you're going to hit the null object and Alt-Left bracket. And you're going to go to the end of your clip. I don't like to put an effect on the video during any action, because then whoever's watching it, usually a recruiter or something, might miss something. So I'm going to end it right here before he throws it. And as long as this null object is like a second long, preferably more than that, between 1 and 2 seconds maybe, that's probably going to be sufficient. Alright, so now that you've got your null object in place, you need to track the video. So you're going to click on the video itself, named video, so clever. You're going to go up here to track motion. I'm on the motion tracking workspace. I usually work on 2 screens, but I'm down to 1 to record this. But go over here to track motion. And you want your target to be the most recent null object. I'm on null 3 because this is the 3rd time I've recorded this. The first 2 times fraps kept flashing up my second monitor's display randomly throughout the video, so I've disabled that one, and hopefully this one works. So make sure you have the most recent target selected. You can go to Edit Target and select whatever one you want if it's wrong. And then this inner box right here that pops up, that's the area that the program is going to track. The outer area is, or this outer box is where it looks for that area. And say, just a little tip, if you end up down here as the video starts moving across the screen, you can just zoom out and zoom in, and it automatically zooms in on this area. So this outside box, you want to have it big enough so that as this spot moves, it doesn't move out of this box, but you want it small enough so that it doesn't start recognizing things way over here and thinking that that's what this spot is. So you want it small, but not too small. This one, I like to have it about right here because I've looked through it already, and there's a little bit of movement, so we're just going to leave it right here, and if it starts to get off, we'll just correct it ourselves. Now you've got 2 options for going through and analyzing this and tracking this video. You've got analyze forward and back. You've also got analyze 1 frame forward or 1 frame back. I'm going to show you both methods so you can see how it works. I like the frame by frame method a lot more. You just click it, and every time you click it, it'll go through 1 more frame of the video, and it's a lot more accurate, and it takes a little bit longer, but it's definitely better than the other method. I'll show you why. Alright, right here, let's reset. Now on this method, it's going a lot faster, so it's less accurate, and it's harder to stop. It's harder to fix if you mess up. If you mess up going 1 frame, you'll recognize as soon as you click next and it puts that tracker in the wrong spot, so then you just drag it to the correct spot. Right here what happens is it's playing, and now it's already made like 5 or 6 keyframes in there. while it was still playing. So there's a couple ways you can fix it. You can manually drag each box back to the correct position, and if you want to go backwards without the video, or without After Effects analyzing the video for movement, just go to the preview. Don't go to this motion tracking back, go to the preview one. You can manually drag each thing back. Or what you can do is you can go to the last correct frame, which is right here really, and hit analyze forward one frame, and it should be correct this time. If it isn't, then you'll just have to go back and do it manually again. When you're done, just hit this apply button right here, and it will apply whatever you have so far to the target, this null object. And I'm going to go through and do that, and I'm just going to skip this part in the video, and then I'm going to show you how to do the next part. Alright, I'm done with that now, but I wanted to give you, or tell you guys exactly how this works really. What happens is, as you go through the video, it makes all these calculations and stuff that you don't need to worry about. Some kind of feature thing, the confidence and anchor point, and it just puts all this together and calculates the position. And then it applies all these position keyframes to your target, the null object. And the reason you do that is because if you tracked just what you want to move, the null object's not what's going to end up moving. It's going to be a spotlight, so I'm just going to use that. If you just tracked the data straight to the spotlight, then if at one point you wanted to move it to a different area in the video itself, what you'd have to do, or if you tried to just drag it away to a different area, say I wanted to stay around this area right here or something, it wouldn't work. You see what happens here? It just goes to that point for that one frame, and then just goes back to its normal position. So we're going to put that back. What you could do is you could highlight all the keyframes and then move it like that, but it just gives us a lot more freedom if we do it this way. What we're going to do is we're going to hit Control-Shift-L, and you're going to name your light. I like to name it what kind of light it is and the tracker it's tracked to, or the null object it's parented to really. And so I'm going to change this to spot 100. Make sure cast shadows is on. Alright, and so now we've got our spotlight, and we're just going to position this on top of our player, just like that. We're going to trim it, Alt left bracket, Alt right bracket. Alright, and now it's the same length as our null object, and what we're going to do is we're going to parent it. So now that it's parented, that means it'll move in the same way as the null object moves, move in the same places, but you can also move it around if you want. See how you can barely see a side? Well, it moves the same way the entire time. So that's really helpful. It makes things a lot easier, a lot more smooth, and just it works a lot better this way if you have this null object in here. And it doesn't take that much longer to do either. Alright, the next thing we're going to do to get this effect to work is we're going to Control-Alt-Shift-L again, and name it the same naming scheme as the last one, Ambient 3. And we're going to change this to an ambient light at intensity of 22, and an ambient light just puts light on the whole composition. And I like 22. I don't know why, it seems kind of random, but that's just what I tend to use for my videos. Don't know why. So we're going to go ahead and trim it down here to the same length as everything else. we do not need to parent it to the null object because it always puts light on the whole composition. So there's no reason to make it move around. That's just silly. And so now we have our effect. You've got the previous clip, and as soon as the next one starts, the whole clip's darkened except for that one area. Your attention comes to it quickly, and you can watch it, and then light goes away, and that's when stuff happens. See that? So good. Also, something I forgot to mention. Pretend like as this went, the spotlight started to go too low. It ended up like down here or something. What you can do there is go to the last, hit P to bring up the position of the null object. Nope. Not of the null object, of the spotlight. And go to the last place where it was at the correct height and keyframe that position and go to the first frame where it remained at the incorrect spot. And so this is assuming that it moves linearly from one spot to the next. It probably won't always look like that, but it'll look a lot better if you have it move like this than if you don't have it move at all and it's incorrect. Alright, so we're just going to, I don't know why it's like this. Just gonna delete that keyframe, delete that keyframe. Alright, and one more thing. There's a couple things I like to do to make my tracking more smooth. What you can do is you can go up here to Window and open up the smoother. And what you do is you highlight the keyframes of the position of the null object. You go over to tolerance. I hit 0.3 usually. I don't, maybe 0.5. I don't like to make that too high because I don't want it pulling out too many keyframes. But what it does is it takes out some of these squares and replaces them with smooth curves. The higher the tolerance, the less accurate it is, but the more smooth it is. And so you'll see here where there's a lot of movement. It's hard to make or take out keyframes right there and make it smooth curves. So you'll see a lot more keyframes at this end than at this end. So then you just go ahead, make sure your keyframes are selected, apply to this spatial path, this path through space, and hit apply. And there's still one more thing you can do to that. It's going to look a lot nicer if you do it this way. You can also hit F9. Alright, sorry about that. Fraps is really having trouble working with After Effects and its preview window. So we're going to just finish off here without that. What I was saying is if you select all the position keyframes, what you can do is you can hit F9, and what that'll do is it will, instead of moving from one spot to the next with a constant velocity, it'll start moving slowly and then speed up in the middle and slow down as it gets closer to the next point. And since the keyframes are all just one frame apart, it won't make that big of a difference. You won't notice at all. But since you have so many keyframes, overall it'll make a slight difference, and it just makes your video that much smoother. And so I just like to put that on in there. Hope you guys learned something today. If you liked the video, please like it and maybe even subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, there is a section for that below the video. If you have any recommendations, send that to me in a message or also a comment. If you have any requests about tutorials you want to see in the future, comment, send message, anything works, because I don't get much of either one, so I'll probably get yours. I have a tutorial on rotoscoping planned, so stay tuned for that, and hope you guys enjoyed the video once again, and have a great day.